It's a fake in the room, and he won't waltz in. He may go.
Look at that speed.
He may go. Unbelievable touchdown, Irish.
That's lightning speed down the right sideline.
Oh, look out. Barry, 40, steps outside, midfield, 45-40, 45-30. He could go one man, step out, hauled it behind at the 5-yard line. Touchdown, Wrightson. What a catch by Joe Wrightson.
I'm James Buster Douglas. I'm the heavyweight champion of the world because I knocked out Mike Tyson. Some people said it was luck.
Oh, what an uppercut from Douglas. Tyson's in deep trouble. The left cross. It puts him on the canvas. He may not get up.
It wasn't luck. It's my job to hit people. I hit them harder than they hit me. It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of pain. But I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of anything. You saw what I did to Mike Tyson. Evander Holyfield thinks he can do the same to me. He thinks he's the next champion. He's right about one thing. He's next.
Douglas versus Holyfield for the heavyweight title. It's the moment of truth, and the truth is gonna hurt.
Exclusively on pay-per-view and closed-circuit TV.
Don't need Paris, don't need Rome. I'm having more fun sitting right here at home. I'm just a scratching, matching, trying my luck. Never had so much fun for a buck. Oh, what fun! What fun! Instant fun. The Maryland Instant Lottery.
Winning $10,000 can be a blast in Maryland's Cash Explosion Instant Game.
A little more defense, a lot more toughness in that second period from both teams. The Capitals still with a 2-0 lead over the New Jersey Devils. We've now played 2 periods of hockey here at the Capitol Center. And welcome back to Capitals Hockey on Home Team Sports. I'm Al Koken. Time now to take a look at our Hardy's scoring summary and run down how the scoring has gone so far in this game. It all came in the first period. At 3:08, John Druce with his 4th of the year, his 3rd in 2 nights, with a beautiful assist from Peter Bondra. Mike Ridley also picks up an assist. The Capitals go up 1-0. Then on the power play at 5:44 of the period, Dale Hunter with a nice shot. Calle Johansson, who also had a great game last night, now picks up his 4th assist in the last 2 games. Chris Felix also working on that power play, and that's where we stand right now. The Capitals up 2-0 over New Jersey. Today's game summary has been brought to you by Hardee's. Hardee's, where there's all kinds of good stuff. Well, now, as we've been doing on our Home Team Sports broadcast, we've been showing you a little example of some of the fun you can have with this tape, Super Hockey Bloopers. We've got another installment for you. This one is on the names of the game. This from Super Hockey Bloopers.
Did you ever think that hockey players have musical names? Here's songwriter Dick McCormick's Names of the Game.
For action, for hard hits, hockey's the game. It's got the Stanley Cup, it's got extraordinary names. Quackenbush, Dead Marsh, Hector Marini, Zarley Zalapski, Zelio Topazzini, Cleghorn, Titanic, Poopa and Grip, Kraft, Check and Crashley, and Tugnut and Kidd. Hockey's got the fascinatingest names you ever heard. Some names strain your brain, some names tickle your ears. Yuri Sirwa, Can of Geezer, Lavender Waters, Coffee, Beers, and Beezer, Baldy and Bronco and Newsy and Ching, Rocky and Teeter, Boom Boom and King. Hockey is talent. Hockey is guts. Hockey is the names that make you say what? Every good fellow, Fiddler and Dunk, Hoke and Lube, Vulcan, Hap, Ends and Bun, Gump Worsley, Dit Clapper, Fern Flamin, Moose Vasco, Turk, Mud, and Zombo, King Kwong, and Zuhako. Hockey is the game where the thrills are so fine. The plays got precision and the names blow your mind. Flesh, body, turkey, toe, leg, rag and duff. Backers been corny and just good enough. Some play meticulous, some play insane, but the names of the game, oh well, what's in a name?
Another great piece of work from that tape, Super Hockey Bloopers. Now, if you'd like to get that tape, which includes what you just saw and plenty more, send your check or money order to that address for Super Hockey Bloopers, or just pick up the phone and call 1-800-321-PUCK. VHS format only. It'll take MasterCard, Visa, and American Express. That's Super Hockey Bloopers, a great gift idea. We'll return with more intermission activity here at the Capitol Center after these words on Home Team Sports.
Before this, you never heard of cold filtered. Before this, you never heard of genuine draft taste in a bottle. Now hear this. Get out of the old, get into the cold.
Cold is the taste, what it's all about. Never heat pasteurized, so the rich, smooth taste don't cool down. For those who discover its real draft taste, the world can be a very cool place.
Get out of the old, get into the cold. Miller Genuine Draft.
We're off and running again at Marlboro Racetrack. 2 Wednesdays of thoroughbred racing.
October 24th and 31st.
10 big races, post time 12 noon. Begins at 11 on the Capitol Beltway. Don't miss the excitement at Marlboro.
Remember, that's October 24th and the 31st.
I'm James Buster Douglas. I'm the heavyweight champion of the world because I knocked out Mike Tyson. Some people said it was luck.
Oh, what an uppercut from Douglas. Tyson's in deep trouble. The left cross. It puts him on the canvas. He may not get up.
It wasn't luck. It's my job to hit people. I hit them harder than they hit me. It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of pain. But I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of anything. You saw what I did to Mike Tyson. Evander Holyfield thinks he can do the same to me. He thinks he's the next champion. He's right about one thing. He's next.
Douglas versus Holyfield for the heavyweight title. It's the moment of truth, and the truth is gonna hurt.
Exclusively on pay-per-view and closed-circuit TV.
Now, at your Toyota dealer, final clearance deals on the last of the 1990 Toyotas. A few more days of final clearance deals with factory-to-dealer incentives on all 1990 Toyotas. Up to $1,500 on cars, up to $1,700 on trucks. Want even more Toyota for your money? Then make your move on a year-end Toyota Celica or quality-built Toyota 4Runner. Final clearance price to sell now. So act now, because every day, more than 200 Toyotas are gone. See your Toyota dealer today for final clearance savings.
The Bullets tip off the basketball season against some of the NBA's finest stars.
Mallory picks up Dumars. Wayne Beer is open. John Williams helps out and blocks it. Stockton blocked by Darrell Walker, and he grabs it. Chapman against Darrell Walker spins, and CJ gets another one.
HTS presents coverage of the college basketball season with live matchups featuring the Soviet national team against Indiana, Connecticut, Georgia Tech, and Syracuse. Plus, we begin our coverage of more than 125 games featuring Georgetown, the CAA, Sun Belt, Atlantic 10, and Metro conferences.
Lutombo just lets it come to him. Gets a couple of rebounds and slams it home.
The NHL plays on HTS more than a dozen times in November.
Here's a shot.
HTS tackles the exciting conclusion of the college football season, featuring bowl-bound Brigham Young, Notre Dame, Miami, and Florida State. It's a November to remember, featuring all this action and a whole lot more.
Home Team Sports coverage of Washington Capitals hockey is brought to you by Labatt's, the clean, crisp, imported taste of Labatt's Blue, Canada's #1 beer. It's Blue Heaven. And by your Washington area Toyota dealers. Toyota Value, the best deal going. Much different period of action. A scoreless second period. The Washington Capitals cling to a 2-goal lead over the New Jersey Devils, the division-leading Devils. Welcome back here on Home Team Sports. Jeff Rimmer along with Craig Laughlin. And Craig, a much different period from the wide-open opening 20 minutes of play here at the Capitol Center tonight.
I think so. I think both teams really got to checking in that period. They really check all over the ice. A lot of dumping the puck in, but a lot of just hammering it around the boards, getting it out of trouble. Not many turnovers, not many shots, but a really good, hard checking period.
Washington Capitals mustering, what, a total of 4 shots in that period at Chris Terreri officially.
Well, yes, they did. And the thing is, though, there wasn't many power plays that period. They didn't get a lot of attack going, but they still, they worked hard, but, it's hard to get shots in the NHL. They only had 4 shots, nothing really difficult for Terreri to stop.
The New Jersey Devils, amazingly enough, way down 16-4, have come on and now taken the lead in shots. They had a total of 7 in that second period.
Yeah, 7 shots all out at the dots or above to the top of the circle. Shots that Beaupre was seeing in that period, catching them, stopping with his blocker. No real shots, real difficult shots for Beaupre.
And he was stopping those shots with a great deal of traffic in front of him in that second period.
Well, he was, but the traffic was being pushed to the side. And at the last minute, he always had his sight on the puck coming to him, enabling him to catch it or stop it with his blocker.
Well, stay tuned. The third period is coming up here from the Capitol Center on Home Team Sports. The Caps lead by 2.
Gasoline advertising uses these words a lot. You know what they mean? Gasolines are all the same. Until now. One is better. In a BMW test run on each of the 6 leading national gasolines, one clearly surpassed the others. Texaco System 3. Only Texaco System 3 removed deposits from dirty intake valves. Can that make a difference on the road? And you thought all gasolines were the same.
Say, didn't you put a new roof on your house last year?
Yeah, Sears did it. Gutters, too.
Sears? I didn't think of them.
They gave me a free estimate, did a great job, guaranteed my satisfaction, and gave me financing.
I trust your judgment.
Well, then you can trust Sears.
Does Sears give golf lessons?
Sears Home Improvements. Professionally installed, satisfaction guaranteed, or your money back. Sears Home Improvement Professional. The most trusted name around the house.
Yeah, we just scored. No, I didn't see Kevin get hit.
Kev, you okay?
I wind up in the hospital, and Bob gets the winning goal.
I couldn't let Kevin miss the party.
I was having a pretty good time where I was.
Friends deserve the best.
Friendship. Just being there.
The crisp, clean taste of Canada's best beer, Labatt's Blue.
I have to be flat on my back to get Bob to buy me a blue.
Between friends, it's true blue. Labatt's Blue.
Why do so many people go to Hardee's for breakfast? That's why. Hardee's, all kinds of good stuff.
We're a couple of minutes away from the opening faceoff in period number 3. Let's head downstairs and get an update, find out what's going on from Al Koken. Al?
All right, thanks very much, Jeff. The Capital players now coming onto the ice behind me, trying to see if John Druce is back in the lineup. I don't think he will be. As we told you, a possible small injury to John Druce. They didn't feel it was anything serious, so kind of take it easy with the second game in 2 nights. Still, though, Alan May, from word that I got back near the Capitol locker room, is that they thought there was an injury to his left hand, hurt in that fight as he hit Al Stewart on the helmet. And I think they took Alan May to get some preliminary x-rays to make sure that there was no serious damage to Alan May's left hand. So the Capitals playing without 2 pretty important forwards with their second game in 2 nights. We'll see if New Jersey lets that be a factor to try to wear the Capitals down. Now, we have something very interesting to tell our Home Team Sports viewers. We've been told by Capitals management that they will be holding a press conference immediately after the game. We will join that press conference live. The Capitals have told us it will be to make an announcement of a major player acquisition. So stay with us on Home Team Sports. After the game, we will be joining the Capitals and General Manager David Poile for a press conference live upstairs in the Capitals media room, and we are told it is a very big announcement. So stick with us. Let's go back upstairs now to Jeff and Craig.
Well, Craig, the Capitals making a major acquisition. We know it's not you because you're staying up here for the third period.
Well, I thought it was going to be me in that period. After all the right wingers being out, Jeff, I thought I might get a shot at it, but I guess not.
Seriously, as the teams come out on the ice here for period number 3, the Capitals have played a solid 40 minutes of hockey. What do they have to do here in the third period?
Well, I think they have to play safe hockey. They've got to keep dumping it out. Don't give the New Jersey Devils any chances whatsoever. Just keep dumping the puck out of the zone when they get in trouble. If they do that, they're going to be successful.
Both teams playing their second games in the last 24 hours. Last night, of course, the Devils winning on home ice. They're now unbeaten in home ice action in 6 games. And, of course, for the Washington Capitals last night, they win as well as they, with a solid effort, edge the New York Islanders by a score of 4-3. Craig Laughlin, as the teams come out onto the ice, what do you look for from the Devils here in this period?
Well, I think you're going to see a lot of the defensemen. They're going to be told by John Cunniff to jump in the play. They've got to create some odd man rushes. They've got to dump it in. They've got to force the Capitals defense to try to turn the puck over. So I think in any type of rush the Devils are going to have, look for the Kasatonov, look for the Fedosov to jump in the play and try to get some offense going.
We are all but set here now for the face-off. Zezel will do the honors against Maley. Referee Bill McCreary drops the puck, and we're underway. Third period action from the Capitol Center. Jeff Rimmer along with Craig Laughlin and Al Koken bringing it to you live and exclusively here on Home Team Sports. Mike Lawler from the Capitals blue line to center, ridden off on the play there by Eisbart. Puck squirts loose to Cicerelli along the far boards. Backhanded by Podubny. At the Caps blue line, Lawler finds Pavanka. Back to Bob Rouse. Across there for Lawler. Long lead pass for Pavanka, who tips it right out of the stick of Podubny. Here's Maley in over the line, offside. Walter Podubny, the veteran with the New Jersey Devils. I guess it wasn't too long ago that Podubny was a question mark as far as his hockey future was concerned, what with the bad knees. But he's played very well for the Devils early in this season, Craig.
He certainly has. He's had some serious knee problems. He's really rehabbed himself over the summer. They put him through some strenuous workouts over the summer to try to strengthen that knee. And sometimes, you know, hockey players, they get hurt. It's really hard to come back at 100%. I think players rather play than work out. You have to work out all the time when you're injured, and it takes a lot of time away from the rink to work out and rehab yourself.
Face-off just outside the Washington blue line. Hunter now centering the line with Peter Bondra on the right wing. And Craig, as you astutely pointed out, we can expect to see a lot more of Bondra now with 2 of the Washington Capital right wingers out. And not likely to return, still awaiting official word on just exactly why Druce and Alan May did not return.
Well, I'm ready.
I noticed it is flipped by Sundstrom into the Washington end. Calle Johansson to Hunter, backhanded to center. Danico has it taken off his stick with a good defensive play there by Peter Bondra. Marcinician getting it to Sundstrom. Tippett doing a job there defensively. Here's Marcinician from center, dumping it into the Washington end. Calle Johansson off the boards to Hatcher, who flips it. The far side, Tippett couldn't control it. Driver clears it back in, but Calle Johansson alertly takes it out. Pavanka with, or make that Hunter. Tied up on the play. Sundstrom to Stewart. Stewart tied up by Miller, and he flips it into the Washington end. Both teams playing a little tentative here as we start the third period. Leach on the far side takes a hit from Marcinician. Puck goes off into the corner. Kelly Miller is turned around. McLean tying up Ridley. Here's Leach flipping it towards the net. It is knocked down, and McLean has it for the Devils. Rink wide for Driver. Driver skates between the face-off circles and is in. Flips it on the left side. Kirk Muller being chased there by Kelly Miller. Here's Driver. Getting it on the right wing to McLean. McLean flips the backhander into the Washington zone. Racing after it there is Muller. Rouse gets to it first and wraps it around the boards. All the way back into the neutral zone. Here's Fetisov. Soviet defenseman. Clearing it ahead to Stastny. Off Kelly Miller. Gets it back. Clears it to McLean. Rink wide. Lawler breaks that one up. Stastny takes a hit from Miller, who feeds to Ridley. Ridley off the boards and down into the New Jersey end. Fetisov. And Kazatanov on the blue line now. Pivaka tying up Kazatanov, and it's backhanded to center. Rod Langway flips it in behind the New Jersey net. Terreri leaves it there for Fetisov.
Well, both these Russians, Fetisov and Kazatonov, very skilled player, but they still haven't adapted. And the coach, John Cunniff, says they've been in Russia so long, 13 years playing there, they'll never adapt to the NHL, firing it around the boards.
Puck stopped there by Fetisov. He clears it ahead for Crowder, who flips it to Shanahan. Dino Ciccarelli clears the zone and feeds to Pivaka. One-on-one. Pivaka and Kazatonov. Good move there by Pivaka to try to get around Kazatonov, but he couldn't control the puck. In the corner now. Zezel backhands it off into the open end of the ice. And here's Laurie Boschman. Boschman to center with Crowder and Shanahan. Flipped off into the open corner. Ciccarelli taking a hit there from Shanahan. Gets it to Zezel. And it's cleared into the neutral zone. Kazatonov from the red center line to Shanahan. Kicks it ahead right out of the stick of Ciccarelli. With a breaking Kiprios on the left wing. Fires a drive. Pad save made by Terreri. The rebound cleared by Fetisov. Ahead to Crowder. To Boschman. Boschman flips it all the way into the Washington end.
Well, Kazatonov and Fetisov out there for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. They were dead tired at the end of that shift.
Crowd looking to get into this one. Very quiet here at the Capitol Center as the third period is underway. Along the near boards, Rouse tied up by a couple of the Devils. He gets some help there now from Bondra, who has his helmet knocked off by Abilene. And the helmetless Czech now racing in, right in on Terreri. Here's Danico. Feeds it ahead for Podubny. Podubny slaps it off the glass and into the corner. Naily takes it off the glass, tipped in front. Lawler tries to get it out and does. But it's quickly fired back in, delayed offside as Beaupre feeds it to Felix off the boards. Bondra throws a check at Abilene. Puck comes loose to Podubny. To Abilene and over the line. Bondra takes his man out. Wrapped around the boards. Felix all the way back down into the New Jersey end. Chris Terreri feeds Podubny to Stastny. Stastny to Danico. Danico all the way to the Caps blue line where Hatcher has it. He feeds it to Miller to Ridley with Leach. The three of them in over the line. Ridley fakes a shot. Still with it. Fires a drive and a glove save made there by Chris Terreri with some traffic in front of the net. 14:37 left in the third period. Washington ahead by 2.
We know you're in there.
We're not coming out.
We'll make you a deal.
We want a car and we want money.
How about a Subaru Legacy?
Does it have air conditioning and four-wheel disc brakes?
Standard.
Okay. What's the deal?
How about $3,100?
Now you can save over $3,100 on select Subaru Legacy L model vehicles with the Value Plus package.
Okay, we're coming out.
This would be a lot easier if they just come down to the showroom.
Face-off to the right of Terreri again. Stay with us here on Home Team Sports. A major announcement made by the Washington Capitals right after the hockey game, as Al Koken told us, a player acquisition by the Caps. And we will get word, definitive word, on that announcement right here with the live news conference. Kevin Hatcher dragging the puck, fires a shot towards the net. It is knocked down. Behind the net now, Kirk Muller. Feeding it ahead to McLean at the blue line with Stastny. Stastny now in over the Washington line. Drivers pinching in. Langway knocks down the pass. Stastny gets it right back. And again, Langway blocks it, and it's off into the corner. Hatcher loses his edge. Gets it ahead on the left wing. Kelly Miller clears the zone. Stastny to Muller. Muller being tied up by Miller. Drivers got it on the point now. Feeding it ahead too far for McLean. Langway intercepts. Gets it to Leach. Leach with Ridley. Feeding it ahead to Ridley. Ridley now around Marcinishin. Marcinishin tying up Ridley along the boards. McLean comes in to help out, but so too does Michael Pivaka for the Capitals. Ridley is ridden off to the ice there by Marcinishin. Drivers got it behind the New Jersey net.
the Capitals really closing off the neutral zone. They're standing up the Devils because they have wingers coming back, picking up the Devils' wingers.
Patrick Sundstrom tries to split the defense, fires a shot at Donnie Beaupre, and Beaupre holds on. 13:20 left in the third period. Stay tuned. The Caps are ahead by 2.
I'm James Buster Douglas. I'm the heavyweight champion because I knocked out Mike Tyson.
Oh, what an uppercut from Douglas. Tyson's in deep trouble.
Some people think it was luck. Evander Holyfield thinks it was luck. He thinks he's the next champion. He's right about one thing. He's next.
Douglas versus Holyfield for the heavyweight title. It's the moment of truth, and the truth is gonna hurt.
Exclusively on pay-per-view and closed-circuit TV.
A look at the Caps bench and Coach Terry Murray. Now, you're not holding out on me. There's this big announcement. Caps general manager David Poile told me, and has said here for the last couple of years, the Caps concerned about adding depth to the organization. Are you holding out now? You're part of this thing here tonight?
I can't tell you, Jim.
We'll find out. Al Koken will join us from the press room here at the Capitol Center. A major announcement of a player acquisition, and that announcement will come just moments after tonight's hockey game, and you'll hear it live and exclusively here on Home Team Sports. Penalty upcoming here now. Roughing is the call. Bill McCreary whistling play down, and a scrum to the left face-off circle in the Washington end. Ciccarelli's helmet was knocked off. Kazatana throwing a glove there at Bob Rouse. And he was guilty of that back in the Meadowlands. Got away with it a couple of times on Wednesday night.
Excuse me. He's getting used to jumping in there. More used to the American way of, NHL way of hitting guys. Dino Ciccarelli, he's going to get a boarding penalty. When you hit a player when he's away from the boards, a foot or two from the boards, and drive him into the boards, it's a boarding penalty, and they're really cracking down on them this year.
Bill McCreary whistling play down, the first penalty here of the third period.
And it's Patrick Sundstrom, and you know, he's not a big, tough guy. He's a very skilled player. He just pushed Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli lost his footing, hit himself into the boards. His head hit the boards. It's an automatic 2-minute minor penalty for boarding.
6:52 the time of the penalty. The first penalty here in the period. Caps goals tonight, both coming in the first period. John Druce his fourth. That's before he left the hockey game. That was at even strength, but the Caps do have a power play goal here tonight. Coming into tonight's game, they are third in the NHL with the manpower advantage. And Hunter, Dale Hunter, gets the goal, his third from Pavaka at 5:44. That's the last goal in this hockey game for either club.
And Chris Felix out with Hatcher, giving Johansson a little spell. He's been out for a long shift just prior to this power play. Chris Felix gets to step in and work that point on the power play.
Boschman wins the draw, gets it back to Fetisov at the point. Off the boards, too far for Stewart. Chris Felix for the Capitals will regroup by stopping momentarily behind the Washington net. Felix feeding it ahead to Hatcher. Hatcher wraps it around the boards. Ciccarelli from the right side, moving in. Skated off by Fetisov. This is Stewart stepping in front of his own net. Makes his way to the blue line to center. Flips it off into the Washington end. Kevin Hatcher turns from Boschman. With one hand, rides him off. The other steers the puck ahead. Boschman knocks it off his stick. Stewart has it hop off his stick. And the Capitals now in the neutral zone with Zezel. Ridley and Ciccarelli up front. Backhanded by Fetisov, not out, goes off the skate of Zezel and is back in the neutral zone. Felix gets it ahead to Ridley. He sidesteps a slash there from Kazatanov. Ridley loses his stick, puck comes back to the point. Felix rink wide for Ciccarelli. Back to Calle Johansson, and Ciccarelli thrown into the Devils bench. Play goes right on, and Ciccarelli's lost his helmet again. Calle Johansson from the far boards. To Zezel. Zezel feeding Ciccarelli. He finds Ridley. Back to the point to Felix. Felix to Mike Ridley. 35 seconds left in the penalty now. Johansson with a one-time scores! Calle Johansson, or was it tipped by Ciccarelli in front? We'll await the official call, but the Capitals with their second power play goal and lead 3-0.
Capitals force the two penalty killers up to the top. They work the umbrella to a T. Johansson, a hard hard, low slap shot, not too high, right into the corner. Dino Ciccarelli coming in front of Terreri. Once Terreri's out in front of the crease, he can be knocked a little bit. Felix over to Johansson. They've got it set up. A long shot goes right between Ciccarelli's leg, right past Terreri. Terreri's upset, yelling at the referee, Jeff, because Dino Ciccarelli's coming across. But Terreri's way out of the net. Dino Ciccarelli just holds his ground, gives him a little push there, as you can see, right into the net.
Well, Calle Johansson has it all the way, and the Capitals now lead 3-0. Felix and Ridley draw assists for the Capitals, and for Calle Johansson, that is his second goal of the season. Hunter takes a vicious hit there from Maley. In the neutral zone, play goes right on. Devils now may pick it up from a physical perspective. They trail, though, in the hockey game 3-0. And Michael Pavanka just moments ago left the ice. We'll have to get an update on his situation. It may just be for an equipment repair because Doug Scherer also left the ice at the same time. Play is underway in the neutral zone. This is Eisbach. Across for Podubny, high and wide. 3-0, the Washington Capitals lead as Kyprios clears it into the neutral zone. Kyprios flips it into the New Jersey end. Here's a drive. Podubny way wide. Beaupre grabs the rebound off the backboards and leaves it there for Langway. Rod Langway, the Caps team captain at the blue line, to Rouse at center. Rouse flipping it in. Terreri steers it off into the corner. Bondra is there for the Capitals. He misses a check from McLean. Ciccarelli winds up. Pad save made by Terreri. Zezel feeding it back. Intercepted by Ciccarelli. A shot, another pad save. Chris Terreri. First star last night, has played very effectively tonight for New Jersey. Caps feel a penalty should have been called. So too does the crowd, but McCreary not impressed. Langway wraps it around the boards. Hatcher with Ciccarelli. Kevin Hatcher skates in, moves in, shoots. Terreri with a pad save. Here's a shot in an open net. Off the leg of Dino Ciccarelli. And he steered it as he took that one in the cap. Ciccarelli sets up again. Gets it back to the point. Waller ridden off. A shot by Bondra. Terreri with the save, and he holds on. All kinds of action in the New Jersey end. And Zezel having a few words with Marcinishuk.
And we've got more out-of-town scores down with Al Kogan downstairs.
All right, thanks, Craig. Plenty of action here and action along the way on the Washington Post scoreboard. Buffalo looks like they may break through. 3-1 lead now in the third period over the Islanders. The Rangers adding to their lead. It's 3-0 over Pittsburgh in the second period. The one final we have for you, Quebec has beaten Detroit. That was earlier this afternoon. Toronto looks like they may get their first victory. 5-1 now. They lead Chicago, that in the second. Montreal by 1 over Philadelphia. That in the second period. Calgary continues to pour it on. The Bruins having a tough time on their West Coast swing. Calgary up 6-1 in this one, and St. Louis has bounced back. They've scored the last 2 goals, lead 2-1 in the second, and in the fourth inning, still 1-0 Oakland in the World Series. Back upstairs to Jeff and Craig.
The Capitals create some offense for themselves. Kevin Hatcher, big guy, goes to the net, gets a shot away with 2 Devils on him. The puck rolls around. As soon as he gets around the net, Terreri's down, throws it out to Bondra. Dino Ciccarelli going into the net, hits Dino Ciccarelli in the leg, or it would have went into the empty net.
Boy, Dino Ciccarelli, he needs a little bit of luck on his side. He's worked very hard tonight trying to get his second goal of the season.
He's worked extremely hard in every game this season. He's just not getting the bounces.
Rod Langway steps in front of his own net, backhands it ahead to Hunter on the right wing. Hunter steers it ahead for Miller. Cleared by Kazatanov onto the stick of Kevin Hatcher. There's a delay penalty upcoming as McCreary has his hand up, taps for the extra attacker, and a shot right on, and a save made there by Terreri. A cross-checking call to the Devils. The Caps back on the power play. We'll have it for you. Hunter and Shanahan have words, but stay tuned. We'll have all the action for you, plus an update on that penalty when we return.
Gonna get there. It'll be great to see the guys again. I wonder if they'll all show. I just gotta get there. I'm trying to make my Martindale River.
Friends deserve the best.
This is great. They all showed up.
The crisp, clean taste of Canada's best beer, Labatt's Blue.
What took you so long?
I had a little car trouble.
Between friends, it's true blue. Labatt's Blue.
Brendan Shanahan gets the call. He's got the gate. The Caps will be back on the power play, Greg.
Yes, he took a cross-check. Then the scrum started. They all got involved. Dale Hunter went over. Shanahan was picking up his stick. He gave Dale Hunter a little push. Then they all got into it. Chris Terreri resting on the net. And Terry Murray with another power play. It's a good time to score another goal and really put it out of reach for the Devils.
Take a look at that stat. 6 goals in 11 power plays. The much maligned Caps power play off to a great start this season, Greg.
It sure has, and especially at home. You want to get it going when you're at home. I remember we used to get booed in here on the power play, and it was really frustrating. It's really, you really feel upset on the bench, and it actually really affects the whole team play. And when the power play's going, you're really confident with what you can do on the ice.
A little more room than normal, as you see on the Capitals bench, but the good news, Michael Pivonka has returned. It must have been an equipment problem, perhaps a skate, because Doug Shearer has also returned with Pivonka, but not returning since the first period, John Gruce and Alan May. And we're still awaiting definitive word on those two players. If we get it, we'll have it for you before we leave the air here tonight. Boschman and Zezel from the draw. Caps in the offensive zone. They've got the extra attacker, Johansson, to Dino Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli cross ice for Felix, pinching in, a drive. Terreri's got it, can't see the rebound. Zezel's looking for it. A puck is loose in front. Winding up there is Felix. It is blocked in front of Terreri. And the Capitals will have to regroup as the puck bounces into the neutral zone.
They're really setting the umbrella up top, looking for a one-timer. The Devils aren't going into the diamond. They're playing a box, giving lots of chances.
Ridley knocks it down, gets it to Ciccarelli with a shot. Terreri's got it up high, and he holds on. Dino Ciccarelli wants that goal, and he's shooting, but Chris Terreri is right there.
The fans really, they're really happy with he's working very hard. He's getting lots of chances. Terreri comes up with a big save on him, but he's going to keep shooting, keep shooting. They're trying to give him the shot as many times as they can.
Terreri coming into tonight's game with a 3.20 goals against average and a personal 4-game win streak. He's been sharp tonight.
Well, yes, the Cap power play really moving it along well up top. Chris Felix with a drive. Zezel goes to the net, tries to bang home that rebound. All the Devils go to the net. Then it comes back to Felix again. He gets another shot at it, blocked by the Devils penalty killer at the point, and they get it out of the zone.
From the draw. In the New Jersey end with 1:21 left in the penalty to Shanahan. The Devils clear the zone, dumping it all the way down into the Washington end of the ice, and Beaupre tees it up there for Calle Johansson. Johansson, centering pass for Hunter, who is being chased by Sundstrom, gets it cross ice for Hatcher. Devils have Sundstrom and McLean. This penalty killing unit. Hunter to Johansson. Off Sundstrom, intercepted there by the Devils. Fetisov. Fetisov carries it in over the Washington line. Feeds it on the left wing for McLean. Cross ice to Sundstrom. Beaupre's got it underneath him. And he leaves it there for Hunter. Fine save by Don Beaupre. Caps lead 3-0. 7:47 left. 31 seconds of the penalty to Shanahan. From the left wing, McLean feeding it ahead to Sundstrom. Offside the call. So 7:37 left, and the Caps have 25 seconds left here in the power play. Teams change on the fly here, and we'll have some last-minute heroics here from the Washington Capitals as far as this power play goes.
And Patrick Sundstrom, a very talented offensive player. Remember in the playoffs not too many years ago, 8 points against the Washington Capitals in one playoff game in New Jersey at the Meadowlands. So he's a top-notch offensive player.
And tonight he's showing that he's a fine defensive player as well. Peter Stastny filling off the remaining seconds along with Kurt Muller up front. 25 seconds left in that penalty to Shanahan.
There's nothing better now than what the Devils want to do. They want to create some chances for themselves. Beaupre sharp on that last penalty-killing situation had to come up with a big save, and the Capitals really have to bear down, make some sharp passes right now in the power play.
Beaupre had a fine stretch last year, very sharp, really showing that he was in the game, and he's played for those capabilities tonight. Here's Ridley feeding it ahead to Zezel. And he fired it wide. Zezel sent in home free by Mike Ridley. Ridley's got it again. Cross ice for Hatcher with a drive. Team's back to full strength. Shanahan back on the ice. Capitals with the pressure on in the New Jersey end. Danico is wrestled to the ice. Here's a drive by Felix towards the net. Danico tying up Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli again loses his helmet. Play goes right on. 3-on-2. Here's Muller feeding it across, but it's blocked there by Chris Felix, who falls to the ice to block the pass, and the Caps clear the zone. Both teams change on the fly. Icing's the call. 6:41 left here in the third period. We'll be back.
A BMW test was run on each of the 6 leading national gasolines. In 5 of those tests, deposits on dirty intake valves got worse. One gasoline did completely the opposite. Texaco System 3. It actually removed deposits others left behind. And it's an all-octane grade, not just premium.
And you thought all gasolines were the same.
The Devils breaking across the blue line. A little give and go here to the net. A good play by Chris Felix, cutting off that pass to an empty Shanahan. Shanahan would have had the empty net. Chris Felix, great defensive play for the Capitals.
John McLean has just been ushered off the ice and sent to the Devils dressing room. He's been given a misconduct, 10-minute misconduct, and for all intents and purposes, that's it for him for tonight. 10-minute misconduct. And the time, 13:19 in the third period.
Excuse me, Jeff. The Capitals just not letting that line get going. That's what makes you, it gets you frustrated. McLean very frustrated.
Maley and Hunter get sticks up inside the Caps blue line. Maley trying to get Hunter going. Hunter still got a stick in his hand. And Maley trying to wail away. Dale Hunter still with his sticks and gloves intact. Linesmen step in, get them separated, and this will be interesting to see what the calls are here. Referee Bill McCreary right there on the spot as we see Maley and Hunter escorted to the respective penalty boxes.
Well, last night, Dale Hunter mixed it up with Nyland, a big guy, and David Maley, a very big, strong forward for the Devils. Dale Hunter just mixing it up with them, getting in there, poking his nose into the play to get them off their game.
13:34 will be the time of these penalty calls here in the third period. Bill McCreary's made his decision. We're now awaiting word from Marv Brooks.
The Devils working a triangle in the corner, and then up at the blue line you have David Maley and Hunter going at it, but it started, they were just jostling with each other, hitting the sticks. Now they each get penalties.
For Washington, number 32, Dale Hunter gets 2 minutes for high sticking. The calls come at 13:34.
So, for the fact that Dale Hunter was able to keep his gloves on, Maley ends up to the extra 2 minutes, and the Caps are back on the power play.
Yes, as soon as you drop your gloves, Jeff, they're going to give an extra minor for you for roughing, because David Maley took about 4 punches trying to hit Hunter. Even if he didn't hit him, he gets a minor for roughing.
High sticking to Hunter, roughing and high sticking, double minor to Maley. 6:26 left here in the third period. Caps lead 3-0, and they are back on the power play. The New Jersey Devils coming into tonight's game had won 3 in a row, all on home ice. In fact, the 3-game homestand all ending up in wins, including one over the Capitals on Wednesday night. But the Devils are winless on the road and trail here late in the third period. Both those losses, by the way, to Patrick Division clubs, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, and both by the same score of 7-4. Kevin Hatcher from his own blue line, to center, leading the Washington attack. Looking for Ciccarelli. The Caps will have to regroup in the neutral zone. This is Felix inside his own blue line. Carries to center. Flips it off into the corner, races after it. Terreri clears it off the glass. Hatcher's there at the point. Kevin Hatcher steps up. Gets it to Zezel. To Mike Ridley. Back to Zezel, back to Ridley. Ridley getting it to Hatcher at the point. He pinches in, fires a drive. Blocked by Terreri. The rebound comes to Ridley, and he fires his shot. Terreri blocks it. Zezel to Mike Ridley. Back to Hatcher. Hatcher being chased by Stewart, who slashes at him. Play goes right on. Ridley flips it ahead to Zezel. Hops over his stick. Kazatanov has it for the Devils. Getting it ahead to Fetisov. Fetisov steps away there from Ridley. Feeds it ahead to Boschman. And here's Kevin Hatcher. As both the Caps and the Devils change on the go. Hatcher feeding it ahead to Calle Johansson. Johansson ridden off by Sundstrom. Gets it ahead. It's backhanded by Danico into the Washington end. Calle Johansson touches it. And play whistled down. 5:02 left to go. 36 seconds left in the penalty, the extra minor penalty, and that is being served by Paul Eisbart, number 14.
The faceoff comes inside the zone because Calle Johansson knocked the puck down with his high stick, so therefore it comes in your zone. When you're killing a penalty, when you're on a power play, you knock it down with a high stick. The faceoff's in your own zone.
All right, Locker, you're a veteran of the National Hockey League. Is it superstitious to mention Don Beaupre's last shutout here on Home Team Sports with 5:02 left to go?
I hope I didn't hear it. Did I, Jeff?
I'm asking you. Is it superstitious?
Yes, it is. And I didn't hear it.
All right, well, I'll say it anyway. Don Beaupre last year had 2 shutouts. The last time coming on February the 22nd against Chicago. He has played very, very well here tonight. Exceptionally sharp Don Beaupre has been tonight. And the Capitals with a 3-0 lead. Pivonka carries it in over the line to Bob Rouse. Hops over his stick. Getting it ahead there to Felix. Knocked down by Pivonka. Here's Bondra behind the net. Peter Bondra getting it to Rouse at the point. Rouse's drive goes off into the open corner. Slapped ahead. Muller to Sundstrom. He turns from Calle Johansson. Ahead to Muller. Team's back at full strength. Eisbart steps out of the penalty box. Rouse clears it off of Sundstrom, who had to carry it back in over the Washington blue line, and play whistled down with 4:19 now left here in period 3.
Captain Kirk Muller of the Devils, he's a centerman, but he's playing left wing. He went to left wing last year. John kind of thought he could roam more up and down the wing, let him loose a bit, create some offense for the Devils, and he's really responded well. He led the Devils last year in scoring. He's a top-notch player, although I've heard, and I listened to rumors today, and you say there's a chance he could be traded.
Well, I say there's not much of a chance he will be traded. I say the Toronto Maple Leafs would like him very much, but so too would other teams in the NHL.
Did you make up that rumor?
No, not at all. Gary Leeman has been offered around, and the Devils are obviously interested in upgrading their team, but not at the expense of losing one of their key players, and in this case, their team captain. Play is underway. It is flipped ahead. I said if a trade was made that maybe Toronto would have to include the Sky Dome. That great facility. Here's a shot from the point. Lawler has it blocked by Kazatanov. 3:54 left to go. Stay tuned right after the hockey game. A major announcement from the Washington Capitals general manager David Poile regarding a player acquisition. And we'll have it for you with Al Koken live and exclusively here on Home Team Sports. Play in the Caps end, and this is Lawler feeding it ahead. Bondra tries to get it, but it's knocked down by Abilene, and he gets it ahead to Stewart. Stewart takes a hit there from Rouse, but Abilene with the puck. Skates right in. Abilene sets up shot behind the net, comes around, and Beaupre stops him. Crowder throws an elbow at Peter Bondra. Play goes right on. Here's Zezel now in the Washington end. Dropping a pass for Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli is mugged in front of the net. And a penalty upcoming here as Dino Ciccarelli takes it. Play still going on. Beaupre's out of the net. Ciccarelli back on his feet, but feeling a little worse for the wear. There's a slash at one of the Capitals in front of the net. The Devils taking a lot of liberties here now. The Caps have Don Beaupre out of the net with 2:53 left. Hatcher feeding it to Johansson. Johansson is slashed at there by Crowder. Play goes on. Now Hunter feeding it to Pivonka off his stick to Hatcher. The Caps with an extra attacker. Beaupre's out of the net. 2:39 left to go. Dale Hunter feeding it to Leach. Here's Zezel setting up shop behind the net. Feeding it in front. Johansson steps in, scores! Calle Johansson, his second of the night.
The
Capitals. A good pass by Zazzle, known for his good passing. A nice saucer pass, a little flip pass out in front to Johansson. He just gets it, shoots it to the far side over the blocker. The Devils arguing that they had control of the puck, but really they didn't. You must have full control of the puck for the whistle to go. The Capitals really moving the puck well. It was a 6-on-5 because they had pulled their goalie. There was a delayed penalty coming up, and just a great feather pass right out in front. Johansson buries it to the far side.
And for Calle Johansson, his second of the night, third goal of the season. Will await the assists. The goal coming at 17:30 here, with Beaupre on the bench for the extra attacker.
Well, Leach threw it down to Zazzle, so I think it should be Leach, Zazzle, Johansson.
Zazzle drawing one assist. And right you are, Craig. Leach gets the other. 17:30 the time. The Caps lead 4-0 over the first place Devils as the puck is cleared. And here's Langway going on the far side. Rod Langway, who rarely gets into a fight, is going at it with Claude Lemieux. Now Danico wants to get something going. The Devils are frustrated, and they want to go here with anybody.
Well, Kevin Hatcher squared off with Maley, or Shanahan. Hatcher and Shanahan squared off. Everybody else really squaring off with each other.
Kevin Hatcher going at it on the far boards. Langway is ushered off the ice. Hatcher and Shanahan. Shanahan gets his left hand for it. Hatcher and Shanahan going one-on-one.
Two big men fighting there, Jeff. Kevin Hatcher, a very good fighter. Shanahan, a big, tough fighter also.
Well, you could tell the Devils wanted to get things going. They've been playing very chippy here late in this third period. Shanahan's got Hatcher's sweater pulled over top. And a major scrum as well ensuing here behind that fight.
Well, Kevin Hatcher, usually you have your sweaters tied down in the back. There's little tabs that you hook your sweater onto your pants, and you hold down your sweater so you can't get the sweater pulled over your head. But they're very tired now, Kevin Hatcher. All the guys grabbing each other, Shanahan, they're all very tired because fighting takes a lot out of you and a lot of pushing and shoving.
Ken Danico wanted to go with someone in the Capitals. And as I said just a few moments ago, the Devils getting very chippy here late in the period, and they started to show their frustrations. Dino Ciccarelli, incidentally, who was mugged in front of the net. He and Stan Wong having a few words over on the bench, but Dino seems to be okay. Although that was a major mugging in front of goaltender Chris Ferrari.
And we've got another update downstairs with Al Koken. Al?
All right, thanks, Craig. Plenty to sort out for the referees, so it gives us time to update things on the Washington Post scoreboard. A lot of games in the third period right now besides this one. Buffalo and the New York Islanders. Buffalo leading at 3-1 over the Islanders at Uniondale. The Rangers with that one-goal lead over Pittsburgh. It's 3-2 in the third at the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh. The one final we have to report to you, Joe Sakic with 2 goals and an assist today as Quebec, a very surprising team early in the season, finally quiets down Brian Murray's hot Red Wings. This one 5-3 at Le Colisée this afternoon. Toronto continues to add to their lead. Looks like they're finally going to break through with their first victory of the season. It's now 6-1 Maple Leafs at Maple Leaf Garden over Chicago in the third period. It is now tied. Philadelphia's come back to tie the game in Montreal at the Forum in the third period, all tied up at 3. Calgary with that big 6-1 lead over Boston in the third. St. Louis still holding on to the 2-1 lead over Minnesota in the second. And in the World Series, they're now in the 5th inning. It's still Oakland 1-0. Carney Lansford drove in the only run with an RBI single, but we understand that both Eric Davis and Billy Hatcher are out of the game with injuries. So it's going to be an interesting situation if Oakland does win tonight and Davis and Hatcher are lost to the Reds for any length of time. Can Oakland pull out a miracle and come from 3 down? Let's go back upstairs now to Craig Laughlin and Jeff Rimmer.
Better dust off that Oakland A's cap. You got that Cincinnati cap out just a little bit too soon. The gloves and sticks have been picked up. Penalties being sorted out by referee Bill McCreary as you get a look at team captain Kirk Muller of the New Jersey Devils, John Cuniff, the coach, and the Washington Capitals. Full marks for their effort here tonight. And the Devils really showing their frustrations in the closing minutes.
They've put together a complete hockey game. They've checked well. They've had a good power play. They've penalty killed well. It's the whole package tonight. They aren't really lacking, you know, they're not lacking in anything tonight. They've done a real good job.
Here are the penalties.
Claude Lemieux gets 5 minutes for fighting. Number 11, Brendan Shanahan gets 5 minutes for fighting in a game misconduct. Number 3, Ken Danico gets a 10-minute misconduct. For Washington, number 5, Rod Langway, 5 minutes for fighting. Number 4, Kevin Hatcher, 5 minutes for fighting in a game misconduct. And number 21, Steve Leach, a 10-minute misconduct. Time of the penalties is 17:55.
17:55, the time of those penalties.
For New Jersey, number 22, Claude Lemieux, 5 minutes fighting.
And let me just recap them for you. Lemieux gets 5 for fighting. Shanahan 5 in a game. Danico got 10 minutes for the Capitals. Langway 5, Hatcher 5 in a game, and Leach a 10-minute misconduct.
So it's completely even. He called it even. The referee all even up. 5-on-5 still out in the ice.
All those penalties coming at 17:55. So the teams remain at full strength here. Dino Ciccarelli, incidentally, has left the Caps bench as well. So the Caps bench a little bare here right now for the final minute and 56 seconds. Trying to protect the shuttle for Beaupre, who makes a pad save. Lawler clears it off the glass. Kyprios ahead to Bondra. Bondra flips it back into his own zone. This is Lawler. On the left wing for Kyprios. Kyprios flips it high into the air. Into the corner, Bondra. Thrown an elbow there by Fetisov. Tippett on the ice. He gets it to Bondra, free on the left wing. Peter Bondra back to the point. A shot directed towards the net. Knocked down. Back come the Devils. Melee to Podubny with Eisbart. Here's a shot. Save made there by Beaupre. 1:17 left. Tippett tries to clear the zone. Podubny's got it for the Devils. Cross ice. Good defensive play there by Kyprios. Kyprios leading the Washington attack and over the New Jersey line to Dave Tippett. Bondra's on his right wing and a drive. The rebound. And Kyprios knocks it off the goalpost with Terreri beaten. Less than a minute to go now in the third period. The Devils trying to get around the Capitals, but Pawaka's got it for Washington at center and over the blue line. Pawaka feeding it on the left wing for Kelly Miller. It hops over his stick. Crowder's got it. Back come the Devils. Crowder in over the line. In the corner, grabbing Calle Johansson around the neck. Play goes right on. The Devils taking tremendous liberties here in the third period. Marcinishin to Crowder in front, but Felix wisely clears it off the boards. Miller finds an opening and clears it in the neutral zone. 23 seconds left. Boschman with Stewart and Crowder in over the line. A shot cleared by Beaupre into the corner. Caps out shooting the Devils, 36-27. Beaupre stopped all 27 shots with 9 seconds left. Ridley tries to thread the needle, but Marcinishin's got it for the Devils. Feeds it to Boschman with a long shot. Gloved by Donnie Beaupre. Cleared off the boards. The game's over. And Don Beaupre has shut out the New Jersey Devils and cruising right in front there. Down to ice level now. Calle Johansson standing by with our Al Koken.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Certainly a lot of people you could pick for a Texaco start, and Don Beaupre with a shutout, but this man has had a tremendous weekend, capped off by the 2 goals and the assist tonight, Calle Johansson. Calle, what is going on with this power play? It has become a major factor for the Washington Capitals these days.
Yeah, we've been practicing pretty much the last couple of weeks here, and we got some good players up front too, you know. Peter Says is playing really well, and
Let's take a look at one of your power play goals here.
Yeah, this is the one.
I think this is the last one.
It's the last one, yeah. Peter Cecil set me up here pretty good. And I just have to put it in the net there, you know. The goalie can't see nothing.
It really looks like you're so much more comfortable back there. I know the Capitals were counting on you, particularly in the absence of Scott Stevens, to really help run things offensively. And it seems to be a role that not only you enjoy, but really have taken to very well to start the season.
Yeah, well, I've got some good opportunities, you know, and as I told you, I'm playing with good players, you know. It's not so hard to play well if you play with good players.
But then there's the other side of the ice. There's the defensive thing, and I think that's something where I've also seen you work extremely hard at doing. People may have knocked you for just being a one-dimensional player. Was this something that you've definitely tried to work on this year to make sure your defensive game is there?
Yeah, of course, and that's the most important thing. As we saw tonight, you know, we took care of our own end first, and the other end took care of itself, you know, and you got to take care of your own end first.
Well, Calle Johansson certainly took care of things tonight as the Washington Capitals come away with the victory. He's our Texaco Star Player of the Game. Let's head back upstairs to Jeff Rimmer and Craig Laughlin.
And for being selected as tonight's Texaco Star of the Game, Texaco will donate $50 in the name of Calle Johansson to the charity of his choice. Texaco System 3 gasoline. After 5 tanks, it gets even better. Washington Capitals tonight defeat the New Jersey Devils 4-0. They have won their second in a row, effectively ending the Devils, the first-place Devils, 3-game win streak. The Devils now winless in 3 road starts, and Don Beaupre stops all 27 shots to record his first shutout of the 1990-91 season. Splendid effort tonight from Don Beaupre.
Well, it was a splendid effort by Beaupre, but I think you've got to give credit to the defense and the forward. Everybody, they all worked very hard, and they all worked as a unit. There wasn't one guy working by himself. All guys, when 5 guys were on the ice, they stayed together, and they played extremely well. And they were clearing guys away from the net, letting Beaupre make the save. He did, however, make some key stops on the penalty killing. He made a couple of great saves in the third period to keep that shutout. So you've got to give credit to the full team.
We are going to keep it right here at the Capitol Center. Again, if you are just joining us, perhaps just returning home here on Saturday night, the Washington Capitals announcing at the start of period number 3 that they would have a major announcement to make regarding a player acquisition immediately following tonight's hockey game. And you will get that announcement live here on Home Team Sports with the Caps general manager. And we hope to have Al Koken up in the press room here. Craig, you're still sitting here, so I feel a lot more comfortable.
Actually, Jeff, I was just ready to leave, if you can believe that. I'm just ready to go right now.
All right, Al Koken, I understand, is standing by, and if I can anchor Laughlin down here, we'll go over to the press room now. Al Koken, are you there?
All right, thanks, Jeff. As we told you, the Washington Capitals ready to make a major player acquisition announcement. Let's turn it over to Director of Media Relations, the legendary Lou Corletto. Lou? Go right ahead.
We'd like to welcome everyone here tonight for this very special announcement, and at this time I'd like to introduce Vice President General Manager, Mr. David Coyle.
Thank you. Is everybody ready then? Rolling? A little background on this press conference. Back in 1984, in the 11th round of the entry draft, we're all seated at our tables and trying to find out who would be the best player available to draft at that time. Jack Button, as you all know, seated to my left, is a world traveler and has been to a lot of different places. And he said, well, absolutely the best player available in the draft at this point is a player that plays in the Soviet Union. And we had a little brief discussion about what would be the chances that we would ever get this player. Basically, the discussion ended up as, what the heck, what do we have to lose? Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we find out that the Washington Capitals, our whole organization, has gained a lot. Through perseverance and a lot of persistence, the Capitals organization and Jack Button, our Director of Player Personnel, deserves the most credit in this area. He has scouted, he has had several meetings with, he has negotiated with the Soviet Union, Ice Hockey Federation. There's been meetings all over North America, in Moscow, Finland, Germany, Switzerland. The player to my right, we have seen play in the Junior World Championship. We have seen play in the World Championship. We've played against him last year in the Friendship Tour over in Moscow. He was named the first star in that game, and it was the only game that the Washington Capitals lost in that tour, 7-2 to Dynamo Moscow. We saw him play last year against the National Hockey League in the Super Series 90, and we saw him play again this summer in the Goodwill Games in Seattle. Without further ado, I'd like Mikhail Tatarinov and Jack Button for Jack to present him with his new jersey. Maybe you could slip that on.
Take his coat off and put his jersey on.
Okay. Yeah, try it. Let's see if this looks good. We've been waiting for this day for a while.
I think Mikhail has been waiting for this day too.
Right.
The people outside are cheering. John, people outside are cheering because it's online.
We'll sit down and we'll continue here a little bit. Now at this time, what I'd like to do is to turn it over to Jack, and he can explain a little bit more of the background that took place in the negotiation and the completion of the signing of Mikhail Tatarinov.
Thank you, David. Certainly, I'm delighted. I know Mikhail is delighted. Before I really say anything, I think that I must say that this is a real breakthrough for hockey, for the National Hockey League, and certainly for the Washington Capitals, because we're the first organization that has, through the cooperation of the Soviet Ice Hockey Federation and through the tremendous cooperation of his home team in Moscow, Moscow Dynamo, have allowed a young Soviet player to travel to North America to play in the National Hockey League. And I, right now, would like to say a special thank you to Mr. Sysoyev, who is the president of Dynamo Moscow in Moscow, who is also a member of the new Soviet Parliament, who about 15 days ago or so took enough time and thought enough of Mr. Tatarinov that he took some time out to give his approval for this. And you really have to understand how busy this gentleman is, and then even took some further time, about an hour, to talk about Soviet hockey. In addition, Mr. Karakin, who is in charge of their international affairs, and in particular, a fellow who really has Mikhail's interest at heart, and the fellow that I did the hard and fast negotiating with, and he was looking out for Mikhail Tatarinov as well as his own team, and actually was sad to see him go, but the night that Mikhail signed his contract, he had a bottle of champagne there for us to wish Tatarinov luck and to wish the Washington Capitals luck. And his name is Alexander Stieblin, and I'm sure that you're going to enjoy talking to him and meeting him here in January when the Soviet Union comes, because actually the team that's going to play here is Michael's old team, the Dynamo from Moscow, and so it's going to be a homecoming of sort. Tatarinov is all set. He's going to wear number 3. He's going to practice tomorrow and practice Monday. He's anxious to start playing, and we're sort of looking, if everything is okay, for him to play Tuesday night in Philadelphia. He's been off the ice. His last game was against the team Sokol Kiev about 10 days ago, so he's not short of conditioning because he's been looking after himself, but he hasn't been on the ice for 10 days, but a fellow of his caliber will pick it up in no time at all. At this time, I want to point out a fellow here that you're probably going to be seeing a lot of, especially the people around the hockey team, a fellow by the name of John Chapin, who is a young fellow from Alexandria who has worked in the Soviet Union for the United States government. He's going to be Mikhail's escort interpreter, be working very closely with him, and so you'll be seeing a lot of him in the next few months as well.
Jack, was there one thing that swung the scales to get this deal done for you, to have Mikhail come over here?
Well, that's what I was just going to make this one last comment, Al, before we started talking about questions or taking questions. Yes, and it's a very simple one. It's Mikhail Tatarinov. He walked in the building with me tonight about halfway through the first period, and incidentally, he and his family, his wife and his young 2.5-year-old boy just flew from Moscow today, so he's been traveling all day long, and anybody that's done that will realize that Michael is probably a little bit tired right now, but nonetheless, he wanted to come to the game, he wanted to see a win, he wanted to enjoy this tonight, he wanted to meet Mr. Poland, and he's already met Mr. Patrick, and he walked in the building tonight, and he turned around to me, and he shook my hand, and he said, "This is my dream come true." So I want him, David Poile wants him, coaches want him, but if the player doesn't want to come and doesn't go through the effort of making it known, it's never going to happen. So the credit, more than anybody, should go to Mr. Tatarinov on that side, and on this side it should go to Mr. Poland and Mr. Patrick, because without their support and without their enthusiasm of this project, it probably would have never happened either, Al.
Dave, would you like to say a few words?
Well, I would just like to say that my staff, starting with David and Jack and these guys, they're the most persistent, never quit kind of guys, because we've been working on this project for years. And there were times that I almost felt like giving up, but I saw Michael play in Rendezvous in Quebec and then in Moscow, and he is a fantastic defenseman. And he will be I predict he will be a tremendous star in this league, and we're just very, very happy to have him. And I congratulate Michael, and I congratulate everybody who had anything to do with making this day come true.
Thank you. Okay, what we'll do now is we'll take questions to either Abe, Jack, or myself, or to Michael, and then John will do the translations. Okay? So fire away.
Michael, did you?
Well, I really can't answer that, David, but I know I can say this. I don't know what motivates them, but I know that Mikhail has made his interest in going to North America known. He also indicated at every stage of the negotiations, meetings, whatever you want to say, that he would certainly like to go with the approval of Dynamo. He's very close to his coach, Vladimir Yurzinov, and thinks a lot of him. Very close to another coach in the Dynamo travel by the name of Jocelyn Gordich, who was unbelievable. And it's not that easy to get into the Soviet Union on 2 days' notice, much less get to travel in hotel rooms and everything else. So there's so many people that, because if you don't get there in 2 days, maybe they change their mind.
Mikhail, do you feel you're ready right now to play in the National Hockey League?
Да, я, во-первых, хочу поблагодарить
First, I want to thank
всех присутствующих в этом зале.
everybody who's here in this hall.
В первую очередь Жака
In first place is to Jack
за теплое отношение ко мне.
for the warm reception that he's given me.
Ну а как вы задали вопрос, это моя мечта была играть в профессиональной
To
команде.
answer your question, this has been my dream to play in the NHL.
А какую команду это выбрали мы, я думаю, с Жаком вместе еще в 85 году.
And for what team he was going to play for, you think that he and Jack decided that 6 years ago.
Have you had any contact with people like Fetisov, Kasatonov, Larionov since they have been over here? Have they told you what to expect from the National Hockey League?
Ну я мало с кем разговаривал из наших ребят советских.
He talks very rarely with his friends here in the NHL.
Только вот на последнем чемпионате мира в Берне.
Last World Champions in Bern.
Мне Фетисов сказал, что
Fetisov said,
играй, как играл в Союзе, так же жестко и никого не бойся.
Play just like you played in the Soviet Union. Don't be afraid of anybody.
Jack, could you maybe equate this to when you got Michael Pavlik out of Czechoslovakia? Bring a player so young over here.
Well, you can use the word coup. I'm just very, very delighted. And again, Dave, our tour last year, And there's probably lots of criticism of the Friendship Tour and the tour that even last year from the media, you know, it wasn't good. And there's been a lot of talk like that in the newspaper. I thought from our perspective, it was very enlightening. And even something like that. And I know the people in the Soviet Union still appreciate the Washington Capitals. You know, Mr. and Mrs. Poland and people like that went around. And I think we were very thankful and very good visitors there. They were good hosts. You really, I wouldn't say it's a coup. I think it's an ongoing type of situation. Oh, impact is the impact with the Soviet Union of them allowing a young player like this to come. Sure, it's not a coup. It's a major breakthrough in relations is what it is.
Mikhail, would you classify your style as an offensive or defensive?
Ну, я больше как-то к атакующему хоккею. И также не прочь
He's an attacking player.
вступить в силовое единоборство.
He attacks with strength in the boards, digs.
Так как любят здесь в Северной Америке.
That's how they like their hockey here in North America.
You saw that tonight. Maybe at this time what would be best to do is we'll all be available for individual interviews. And again, if some people want to talk to the players downstairs, we'll all go downstairs if that's the most convenient place. And then we'll be around for quite a while to do individual interviews, okay? Thank you.
Good job. Good start. So, big night in the history of the Washington Capitals. Big win over the Devils on the ice and off the ice. Certainly a big night in Capitals history, Craig Laughlin, with an exceptionally young and talented Soviet defenseman coming over and joining the Washington Capitals.
It sure is. It's a big thing for the Caps. It's a big step for the National Hockey League to finally get some young players over here from Russia. It's a big breakthrough, and I think Tarasenov is going to help the Capitals. I've heard all good things about him. He's a smart hockey player, and I'm sure coming from Russia, he's very skilled.
More on Mikhail Tatarnov and more here on our postgame show on Home Team Sports, so stay tuned as we bring you our postgame show of Caps hockey. And for being selected as tonight's Texaco Star of the Game, Texaco will donate $50 in the name of Calle Johansson to the charity of his choice. Texaco System 3 gasoline. After 5 tanks, it gets even better.